missing me and how much she was missing her family. And she said, I want you to let people know that when they go to these vigils and when I thank them for that. That these vigils give her a great deal of support. So, thank you from her for attending. Thank you for everything that you are doing. Thank you for, signing the petition and sending the letters. So, really, there are just, you being here today supports her on so many different levels. Obviously, supporting our campaign for amnesty to try and get them home, to try and bring them back. But also, you are directly supporting her. She can feel and she can see through our letters to her your love and your support. So from her, I thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Ian. And now, Laura's other best friend, Lisa. I met Lisa when she was all of 16. She auditioned for the teen show Scratch that ESPN produced. And if you followed Lisa's career, you know the story from there to Channel 1, to The View, to National Geographic, to Oprah. She made such a positive impression, was such a role model to her younger sister Laura, that Laura decided to follow in Lisa's footsteps, but to make a name for herself with a very important story that she has been telling for a number of different channels and networks across the country. I want to introduce Lisa, who, when we talked the other day, was understandably very, very anxious. Today, she is so much more hopeful, and the fact that you are out here for her to bring her sister Euna home, words can't describe. But she thanks you very much, and I'll let her thank you herself, Laura Ling. Thank you so much for agreeing to MC. Sharon is a dear friend of mine from way back in the day, and she's been such a supporter of ours, and we so appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being here. I just have to take a moment and look at all of you up here who've been enduring this sun. Thank you so much. I would be remiss if I didn't thank a couple of people personally: Beth Giebels, Elizabeth McMillan, Marcus Marquez, Sherry Wallace, and they've been just tirelessly working to put these vigils together. And two people in particular that I have to thank: one of my oldest and dearest friends from high school, Brenna Hamilton, and our family friend, Elsa Chung. I don't know where she is. She's a dear friend of my mom. And man, if y'all are ever in trouble, these are the two women you want on your side, because they are incredible and they are relentless. And I have to just fill you in on a little tidbit. Elsa, you didn't know I was going to mention this, but Elsa is a very serious Republican, and Brenna is a very staunch Democrat. And because of this, they have sort of become BFFs. But the reason I mention that is because there's something symbolic, and that is that people on both sides of the political aisle have been coming together to support my sister Euna, and I just have to tell you from the bottom of our hearts that it just means the world to us. As Ian just said, we are deriving so much strength from all of you, and I truly am just so proud of my hometown tonight. Thank you so much. This is a thank you. I know that we're so proud too. I actually wish that this could be more of an uplifting reunion, because there are people here I haven't seen in over 20 years, but unfortunately we are here under these circumstances. But your support, despite that, just means everything to us. As you may have heard, Ian and I got a phone call from Laura on Tuesday, and it was the third time that we had heard her voice in almost 4 months now. So as you can imagine, we're just sort of sitting at home, and all of a sudden the phone rings at 10:30, and I hear this little voice on the end of the phone that says, "Lee, it's me." And I just go crazy. I am instantly overcome with emotion. Baby, where are you? Are you okay? You know, crazy me, I'm thinking that she might actually have been returned by now, but unfortunately that's not the case. And she had to calm me down. In fact, she said, Lisa, calm down. Please be calm. I need to convey some information to you, okay? We need to talk about how we might be able to come home. And she said, I need you to know that we are okay, we're being treated fairly, and we are being seen by physicians. We hope that is true. She also said, and this was a very, very difficult thing for me to hear from my little sister, but she said very decisively and deliberately, we violated the law in North Korea. We broke the law. And right now, the only hope of us coming home is if our government asks the government of North Korea for amnesty. At this point, that is our only hope. And so that's why we are all out here tonight to ask for amnesty, but also to ask for forgiveness. I think that that is a characteristic that we all could use a lot more of. You know, our two countries don't have a diplomatic relationship, so communication between them is very limited. We know that the situation on the Korean Peninsula has been rather tense of late, and we just hope that for this issue and for this moment, they can put those things temporarily aside, or at least engage in a dialogue to try and secure their release. Next week it'll be 4 months since Laura and Euna were detained, and it has been truly agonizing for us because just imagine going weeks without hearing a single peep about how your loved one is, where they are in the world. That's what it's been like for the last 4 months. And so when we got the phone calls on Tuesday, it was just an incredible relief to know that she said she's okay. So I just want to thank you all again so much for coming out and supporting us. And I leave you with the desire to try and have amnesty granted to Laura and Euna, and ultimately just to think a little bit about people you may need to forgive that you've been harboring animosity towards for a long time. I mean, that whole notion of forgiveness, again, is something that we could all use a little bit more of in our lives. So thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. Laura asked her sister to please request amnesty. Lisa is here, her family is here, requesting the U.S. government to ask for amnesty on Laura and Euna's behalf.